us here this morning. You know, when it comes to weather, what's the first name you think of? Well, one of the first ones is Russ Murley. He's with us here this morning, riding the chair. Russ, how are you, my friend?
Good to see you.
Thanks for being here first thing this morning, my friend.
This is my time of day. I'm a morning guy, and it's even on my day off on Sundays, which is not really a day off, but
you still get up early.
I'm done for the rest of the day. My brain clicked on this morning at 3 a.m. I was wide awake.
Boom.
Yeah.
And you could still talk about the weather, right?
All day long. Yeah, that's what I do.
Let's talk about the winter.
Sure.
It's been bizarre, hasn't it?
It really was. You know, we started with tons of snow. I was here in early December. Powder up to my knees, dropping ropes left and right. We know how much fun that was early in the season. Then we had the thaw, which we seem to be getting every year now before Christmas. And then January was kind of a slow start, and then most of January and February were fantastic. We didn't have any big storms, but we had consistent snow. We had good cold temperatures. We didn't have any thaws. And March, it's like a switch was flicked.
Yeah.
Just like, boom, instant spring. In the last 10 days to 2 weeks, temperatures have been like mid to late April. It's been unbelievable.
You know, there used to be a sign as you went up in Superquad, I would say March is the snowiest month here at Sugarloaf. They took that sign down.
Right.
What do you think has caused that?
Some years we still can get a lot of snow in March. It's a favorable time of year. Still a lot of cold air around. The storm tracks tend to be pretty robust in March. It's a seasonal shift, so the storm tracks are kind of migrating. So I would say most years March can be our snowiest month of the year. Every now and then, though, it seems like every 10 years we have a dry March and a warm March. You may recall 2012, we were in the 70s for a week and just got absolutely devastated in the middle of March.
Yeah.
And I remember early 90s here at the Loaf, pulling in one day, it was 90, 91, 92, somewhere in there. I mean, there was just like, 3-foot rivers of mud coming down the mountain, and it was just unbelievable. We had a massive rainstorm and a big thaw. So it does happen, but it doesn't happen every year. And, some years we can just get absolutely pounded. I mean, 2014, we had a huge storm in the middle of March, skiing powder up to our knees.
Yeah.
So it's a very capricious month. It can go back and forth, and we're getting a taste of it now with the warm weather, and that has come to an end. Yesterday was our last really warm day, and winter's going to settle back in this week. We've got some snow coming tomorrow. We've got some snow showers Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesday, I think, and Wednesday. Yeah. Thursday looks nice, and then there's an opportunity for a storm next weekend. So we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. Now, what about the wind? It seems like we've had a lot of wind from bizarre winds from the south, and it seems like it's a little bit different. What can you tell us about the winds?
Well, we didn't have a lot of wind earlier in the season, but this winter we got back into a more typical Maine winter, and everyone's been saying, "Oh, it's been so cold this winter." No, this is normal. It really is. If you look at the temperatures from January and February, they were pretty close to normal here in western Maine. So we've just had some mild winters. So when you add the cold into the equation, you get more wind. I think people tend to forget that. It's pretty typical to have a lot of wind. And just because of the storm tracks this winter, we have had a little more wind. I haven't quantified that yet, but just being here for decades and observing the weather, we did see an increase in wind this winter, and you could see it on the upper mountain. I mean, we didn't have any heavy wet snow or crust or sleet in January or February.
That's true.
So all the snow that fell in January and February just got blown right off the exposed upper slopes where there's no snowmaking. It just got blown right off the mountain into the trees. It's great for the trees, great for bracket, but not so great for those upper slopes where there's no snowmaking.
Yeah, somewhere there's a lot of snow.
Yeah, on the backside of the mountain over towards Abraham. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you say it's not over yet.
No,
so
it's
that's
not.
good. And usually, historically, Sugarloaf stays open until May.
Right.
And so let's hope we get some snow, right?
Yeah, I think we will. And we can get some big snows in April too. I mean, it gets. The later in the spring you get, the snow line tends to creep up, but there's been some pretty big snows in April too, and I wouldn't rule that out either. I mean, last year we got a big dump in the first opening days of April, and that was fantastic. You may remember that one. And then right after that, for the eclipse, it warmed up and got sunny and warm, and that was all she wrote. But some years we can have. I was chatting with Greg Sweetser, who was in sales and marketing over at Saddleback years ago, back in the 90s, and he was telling me he remembered an April back in the 80s or early 90s where they were skiing powder all April and it never warmed up. So I mean, and that's happened here at Sugarloaf. We've had some phenomenal, phenomenal snowstorms in April. So cross your fingers. We're not done yet. Don't throw in the towel. You know, if you're hardcore, you know, stick it out.
Many years ago, I can't tell you exactly what year, but it was many years ago, the mountain closed down, and then they got a big storm, and they opened back up again.
Right,
How cool is that?
right.
That was many years ago.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So the season's not over,
No.
and we're looking good.